Hey guys, this is Nick with Wyoming Reptiles. I'm going to show you how I take care of my ball pythons. And we'll start off just by the tub sizes, what I do for each one of those, and then we'll move into my everyday stuff. So we'll start over here with my smallest cages that are in my combo rack from Sea Serpents. So if you want this rack, just go to seaserpents.com, and Chris has great products that I really do recommend. So this top shelf right here has the V15s on it, so the Vision 15 cages, and these are perfect for your hatchling ball pythons up until all the way probably around 350-ish grams, and that's usually when I move them down into the V18 racks. So I'm actually going to be either making or buying a rack that's going to house about 7 layers and 6 wide of these. So what's that, 42 ball pythons. I'm gonna get a rack for that, and then once they're about 350 grams, we move them into here, which are the V18 racks. And as you can see, Hades is in here, and he actually weighs about 550 grams. And as you can see, he's pretty comfy in here. The thing I love about these Vision racks is just their length. If you look at a normal, here we'll actually give you a comparison. This is your normal 6-quart tub compared to these. So these are much longer. It's basically a 6-quart tub with an extra 5 inches of space. And I love that about them. They work very well. And so I usually keep snakes in here till they're about 700 grams, and then they move up. As you can see, this girl's actually pretty close to that. She's around 630 grams. She'll move up soon into the next cage, which I'll move her down here into this V35, which I love these for growing out females. They're fantastic because females get a little girthier than males. And so these work better than what I have my males in. And so all of my adult males are going to be in these V35s because I keep my adult males right around 800 grams. They tend to be just less, they tend to do a lot more breeding wise. They're not as lazy or any of that type of stuff. So right around 800 grams. He's actually at, I think, 785 right now. So he's right around there. And this is the V35 low, which is just basically half of this. But for females, they get a little too fat, and that's a little too cramped. So next, we'll move into the next size up from those, which is for my adult females. I have them in these Reptile Basic racks that are CB70s. And I have 2 of them stacked on top of each other. Those are all empty, and only 3 of these are filled with ball pythons. But the setup in here is basically the same idea on a bigger scale. So she's actually supposed to lay tomorrow. Hope she does. But here's a CB70 rack with a full-grown adult that's right around, I think she's at like 1,700 grams. And they work out perfect. She'll be in here probably the rest of her life, but it's not a big deal because they come out almost every day. So they're not living such a horrible life. This girl right here is actually 2,500 grams, and as you can see, there's a lot of cage space there. They're not small. So the next thing we'll do is we'll talk about just what I do on a daily basis with these, with my animals. So I have a spray bottle here. That's one of the pump ones, because honestly, going like this trying to mist all the cages is a pain. So I use this spray bottle and I just spray down the cages. Very simple. I do that usually once a day because our humidity here is horrible, and so it's just hard to keep it up. It looks like these are very humid cages, but if you look inside, it's literally the first inch, and then everything else is just bone dry, as you can see. So, and I misted that down this morning, and it's already like that. But the next thing I do is, when I'm cleaning cages, I use just white vinegar because I don't like to use chemicals as much If I can stay away from it as much as I can, I do. And then I use paper towels to clean everything, and then paper towels for substrate. Every other month, I clean down each cage with this Clorox bleach water mixture. I just don't like using chemicals around my animals, so I try to use vinegar as much as I can. They're still healthy, there's nothing wrong with it. Vinegar's a great cleaner, but every once in a while, to completely disinfect, I'll use that. Now for the water, I use this ReptiSafe stuff. If you guys have any other ideas of what I could use that would be cheaper, comment them down below. I just found this stuff works pretty well for not letting mold grow or anything like that, or algae, and it just works pretty well for me. I do clean their water bowls out almost every other day because they just make a mess out of them, but that's about it on that. And then lastly, I feed all of my animals on Tuesdays or Saturdays, depending on which group I'm feeding. And to feed them, I just use a pair of tweezers, which have some Pangea stuff on the end of them for my crested gecko. But I just use these tweezers, hold them by the back of the neck, and try feeding them. As you can see, my berm actually has a rat in here right now with them. So I literally just go like this and shake it in front of them and just hope they eat it. But I try to drop feed him as much as I can because I don't want him to be too aggressive at all, which he's not. He's actually a puppy dog. I actually use, here's all of my thermostats are up here. So I actually use these jump starts. They're about $32 on Amazon, and they work pretty well. They're not horrible, they're not great, but $32 is a great deal for them. I'm eventually going to get a Herpstat 4 for all these cages, but right in the back there is actually at 88 degrees, so they do a pretty good job, and I'm pretty impressed with how well they do. And the only thing that's wrong with them is their temperature gauge is off. So you gotta set it to a temperature, wait for it to heat up, and then use the temperature gun and figure out what it's at. So once you do that, it works out pretty well. And I haven't had any problems with it. I do need to check my probes. Always make sure to check your probes, and at least once every couple weeks, because I have had a few times where my probes were off and I basically was just letting the heat tape go. I mean, luckily it didn't fail and the heat tape didn't burn up or anything like that, but do check your heat probes all the time, because you don't want to burn your house down or kill your animals. So that's my one word of wisdom for all of you. Lastly, here's a little trick. You might have been wondering what this drawer of black pellets was. It's just charcoal. Helps keep the odor down. So use charcoal to keep your odor down. I just put it in a drawer and have it stay open. But these are my racks. The one in the middle I made, the other two I purchased, or other three I purchased. And hope you enjoyed. Leave any comments down below of what you'd like to see next, or any questions you have, and I'll answer them for you. Thanks for watching. Hit the like button and subscribe.